It is time for CVM Live, the noon edition from our News and Sports Desk. Thanks so much for joining us here and on our website at cvmtv.com for Monday, July 19, 2021. I'm Curlin Brown. There were 2 additional COVID-19 related deaths, both females, a 92-year-old from Hanover and a 68-year-old from St. Anne, moving the country's death toll to 1,157. In the last 24 hours, 85 new cases were also recorded, increasing the country's case count to 51,220, 54 females and 31 males, ranging in age from 65 days old to 92 years. Kingston and St. Andrew account for 26 of the new cases, St. James 11, while Westmoreland, St. Anne and Manchester recorded 9 each. Recoveries also increased by 379, the new total, 46,695. And there are 3,014 active cases across the island. 91 persons are in hospitals, 23 of whom are moderately ill, and 10 are in critical condition. And even with a focus on the fight against COVID-19, non-communicable diseases, NCDs, have not been forgotten, particularly hypertension. The Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Caribbean Institute for Health Research have launched a knowledge, attitude and practice study around salt consumption here in Jamaica, funded by the National Health Fund, the NHF. The study will help to strengthen the implementation of strategies to reduce sodium intake. The health minister says until lifestyle practices are adjusted, Jamaicans will always be at risk. More from Aladdin Love.
Hypertension or high blood pressure is a major problem in Jamaica, with 1 in 3 persons suffering from the condition. Another third is pre-hypertensive. In addition to hypertension, overconsumption of sodium can also contribute to the development of stroke, heart and kidney disease. 1 in 10 Jamaicans consume excess salt by adding salt at the table, or frequent consumption of salty sauces or high sodium processed foods. Jamaica's Salt Consumption Knowledge, Attitudes and Practice Salt Cap Study, launched on Tuesday, is geared towards reducing the population's sodium intake to meet the World Health Organization's recommendation of less than 5 grams of salt per day for adults.
We subscribe to the international best practices, the WHO, that recommends that adults consume less than 5 grams of salt per day. 9 global voluntary targets are also proposed by the World Health Assembly in 2013 for the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases, which include a 30% relative reduction in the salt intake by 2025. And I must tell you, one of the things that I'm going to challenge my leaders in the Ministry of Health and Wellness on, because I've been acquainting and reacquainting myself of some of those targets we have set for ourselves, some of those conventions we have signed on to as a country, like the elimination of trans fats by 2025.
As of July 1, 2021, nearly 400,000 beneficiaries have enrolled on the NHF card program for hypertension. This is the highest number of the 17 chronic illnesses the NHF covers. That's according to the CEO of the NHF, Everton Anderson. He says the burden of chronic diseases overall is having a huge impact on the economy.
Each year we pay out subsidies to support persons with 17 conditions, and the payout last year was about 5.63 billion. Of this, hypertension accounted for 25%, with a total payout of 1.4 billion.
The NHF will provide a grant at a cost of $13.49 million for the study.
Thanks, Aladdin. Opposition leader Mark Golding is bashing the government for its handling of crime, among other issues. Mark Golding is at the same time reiterating his stance that the People's National Party is coming back stronger than ever, as this is the party the people of Jamaica need. More from Robin Williams.
Comrades, we know the problem of crime and violence. We feel it in this constituency terribly. The government don't seem to have any plan.
Golding says the Prime Minister's word on the date of the local government election cannot be trusted, but either way, the PNP stands ready.
Because he said something very similar last year, and within 3 weeks he called a general election in the height of the pandemic, and it became a super spreader event, and many Jamaicans have died as a result of that flawed decision taken at that time for political expediency instead of what was in the true national interest. So we don't know when the local government elections will be called. The law provides to be called any time now. So we are preparing, and we want to be ready.
He adds that the St. Andrew South constituency needs many votes as possible in the upcoming local government elections to effect a change.
And I'll be giving our 2 candidates full support in that regard. And as has been said, we know South St. Andrew has a role to play, not just here in Trenchtown and Admiral Town, but beyond, in other constituencies and divisions, where we can give them a strength, and we will be doing that.
Golding seemingly avoided speaking to the recent resignations of the party's vice presidents, but instead encouraged unity.
We just have to unite as one party, focus on the organization and building the organization, and develop our message of hope for the people, so that the people know that when we come into the next general election, we will be ready for the responsibility of taking Jamaica forward as government.
Robianne Williams for CVM Live.
And PNP minority leader in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KCMC, Andrew Swaby, is also bashing the JLP-led administration, saying they've been clueless from day one. Among the responsibilities, he's accusing the mayor and his team of abandoning our preparations for the 2021 hurricane season.
We all know when hurricane season starts. It starts June 1 or June. So we don't need nobody to tell us if we should be prepared. The mayor is the chairman of the parish preparedness committee. So from me at least, him should have wrapped him head about the hurricane season. And thank God, Elsa never done it us. If I was the mayor, from me, I would have written to the JPS to encourage them to cut down all the overgrown trees that go a wire, because that presents a danger to the citizens. We, the minority side, have moved resolution in the council that speaks to them about ensuring that JPS follow their standard of making sure lights are repaired in 14 working days after it has been reported.
A tense calm continues to grip sections of Maxfield Avenue in Kingston, where residents of Sunlight Street are said to be at odds. CVM Live understands warring factions have divided the street, which has caused a flare-up of violent activities in recent weeks. Our news team was made aware of the friction in the area after a 7-month-old baby girl was shot and injured a week ago. Robianne Williams has that follow-up.
There is seemingly a growing concentration of violence on Sunlight Street off Maxfield Avenue in the corporate area. From what the residents told our news team, has been brewing since the fatal shooting of a man in the area almost a month ago. The one street has apparently been divided and is referred to as the front and back of Sunlight Street. The people of the front are pointing fingers.
The man them after the back come round, pan the front, them have them dispute and them come round pan the front, come fire, be a shot, them are the troublemaker. All of the youth them round here up on the front, that's what them always want to do is just beard and just up and keep look up party and all of them something there. The youth them that in and a war with them.
And the people of the back
have a lot of man from all over. Rostown, Fitzgerald, Olympic Way, Calalubed. There's a lot of man them have, and Zimbabwe. So them have them imported, come in and them do them thing and then them run.
But it's not being described as a turf war.
With a bad mind war. With a bad mind war. One family want to run the place.
The residents say their Member of Parliament, Mark Golding, intervened and there was a ceasefire, but not for long.
The MP is trying, is trying to help it out, but at the same time it is not working because giving them money, giving them work, and it still causes a problem same way.
A 7-month-old baby was shot and injured in the head last week Sunday in the area as gunmen allegedly sprayed bullets on 3 houses. Some say it was not a direct attack, but a crossfire.
It wasn't attack, so you cannot identify to say it's Tom shoot the baby, it's Tom shoot the baby. So you're not hearing anybody saying, yo, we want peace in the community.
But even as the residents are leveling the blame amongst themselves, fear continues to grip Sunlight Street.
If you want to go somewhere, you have to be taking taxi, calling taxi, and taxi come for you. You're afraid to walk anywhere at all.
Robeanne Williams for CVM Live.
The head of the Public Safety Traffic Enforcement Branch of the Constabulary Force is concerned motorcyclists continue to ride recklessly, even with statistics showing motorcyclists account for majority of road users killed since the start of the year. Not only is there now a warning for this group, but all road users are being encouraged to exercise caution as they traverse the public roadways. Once again, here's Robeanne Williams.
As at July 15, 255 persons have been killed in 230 fatal crashes on the nation's roads. Statistics from the Road Safety Unit also highlights that motorcyclists account for the majority of road users killed on the network.
We are seeing some misbehaviors that are causing them to be more at risk. And this has been as a result of that behavior, in that they go undertake vehicles, they disobey road signs to include traffic lights and stop signs, they drive on sidewalks on some occasions, and they cut across traffic. In the rural areas, they tend to drive in the middle of the roadway, and as such, they are susceptible to vehicles that are approaching.
When it comes on to the wearing of helmets, SSP Mackenzie says motorcyclists are still non-compliant. He points to an overwhelming challenge with the increased use of motorcycles for delivery services.
A lot of them are using provisional driver's license, which they had before. And though the system is now changing as it relates to how provisional licenses are acquired, these provisional driver's licenses could have been acquired without any training. So we have persons now not driving domestically, but they are driving for profit, and that increase the stress levels, which a lot of persons are not used to.
Motorcyclists are being encouraged to obtain a full driver's license. Another increasing trend, motorcycles are now being equipped with very loud mufflers, which SSP Mackenzie says goes above the normal noise level.
This is something which is unlawful. And I am saying up front that we have started the process of removing these motorcycles with very loud muffler off the streets, and we are going to intensify it.
Robeanne Williams for CVM Live.
And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says many roads in rural Jamaica are being studied and rehabilitation works are being scheduled as an integral part of the development of the economy. One of the latest roads to be upgraded is the Gall Road in Gale, St. Mary, while a massive infrastructural work to restore a bridge in the area is expected to begin soon. Here's more from Aladdin Love.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is sensitive to the issues that citizens, especially those in rural areas, are faced with. On Friday, the new Gall Road in the Gale division of St. Mary was officially opened. The Prime Minister says this is an indication of the government's commitment to ensuring rural development.
One road is not going to change fundamentally the challenges that you face, but we should not ignore the fact that things are happening, that the government is allocating and is making an effort with all the other things that we have to do to improve the lives of our citizens who live in rural communities. And this is a program that will continue. So yes, it's just one road, but now but you may get another road in the next quarter and another road after that.
Mayor of Port Maria, Richard Creary, says for the first 4 months of this year, very little drain cleaning and debushing were carried out, so much greater effort could be placed on the rehabilitation of roads.
Each council division was given approximately $5 million to do a road and do it properly. We have also, under the direction of the ministry, we have taken on in these roads where we do compaction test here, so that we try to get roads that will last. So Minister Mackenzie, as I said, decided that this is what should have been done. All 13 divisions were given such an allocation, and this is what the councillor for the Gale Division, Councillor Jason James, has decided to do with his allocation.
Additionally, the rehabilitation of the Tiber River Bridge, which became impossible some time ago, is expected to commence very soon.
We are expecting that the works will begin shortly and that the people who live in this area and traverse this route will get back the convenience of the bridge.
The work, valued at over $95 million, is to be completed in approximately 6 months.
Rafting at the Blue Lagoon in Portland is being overrun by outsiders, and the operators are crying foul, alleging their earning power is being threatened by illegal raftsmen. Alad Love explains.
Raftsmen of the Blue Lagoon Alliance in Portland say outsiders are tapping into their waters, thereby snatching their sails. According to the president of the alliance, Colin Beckford, these individuals are not certified by the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO.
They are trying to come in as well as trying to be a part of the organization. We are affiliated with TPDCO. Yes, so when persons who want to be a part of the organization would have to go through the programs that is provided by TPDCO. But persons try to elude the programs and then want to come into the space and to operate without any formal training. So the registered person, they have been penalizing, they have been crying out every day about the persons who are just coming into the space and they have to stay back and not making enough money anymore.
He says there are discussions around TPDCO conducting future surveys to determine how many raftsmen can operate per day. The alliance comprises 22 members, raftsmen, fishermen and craft vendors, and each group is headed by a particular individual. When our news team went on location on Wednesday, the police were carrying out an operation. The captain of the raftsmen group says he was the one who informed the police of the issue.
The police then come and ask me who carrying in all these rafts and stuff, and I point them out to them and think. So them have a plan. So them have to use Wrecker or the marine police and deal with it.
Even as the raftsmen grapple with outsiders, they are grateful for the relaxation of the curfew hours, which has seen a turnaround in business.
Most of the locals who really have come in, chipping since the lifting of the curfew hours. It's been a good turnaround so far, yes. And we're coming up into the summer season now where we're expecting even better turnaround.
Aladdin Love for CVM Live.
Northeast St. Anne Member of Parliament, the JLP's Marcia Smith, last week gifted scores of children in her constituency with tablets. Now, her donation comes weeks after the government's summer school program was launched, facilitating face-to-face learning for thousands of students. Among the schools to benefit are St. Anne's Bay Primary, Chalky Hill Primary, Steertown Primary and Junior High, and Steertown Academy. Now, Ms. Smith says the tablets will facilitate learning even without Wi-Fi connection.
We have some tablets, and these are special tablets, parents. These tablets come with a SIM tray. It means that if you are in an area where there is no Wi-Fi, if you get a SIM card, you can use the tablets to access online material. And we are aware that both Flow and Digicel have some special education plans. Not plans for you to go on YouTube, but they have some reasonable plans for persons who are just interested in browsing online for the purposes of education.
And in reminding parents and students that the gifts were made possible through taxpayers' contribution, the MP urged them to not only keep the tablets safe, but to use them for educational purposes.
I want you to use it for building up yourselves. I want you to commit to your education. I want you to strive towards your excellence, because that is what your motto is. It's about striving for excellence. So these are tools that are going to help you, and parents, help them to, these tools are to help them strive.
Overseas, England is lifting most of its pandemic restrictions on what is being called Freedom Day. There have been mixed feelings there, though, with some welcoming a return of normality, but others are deeply worried about what lies ahead. More from Al Jazeera.
Every day, around 50,000 people in England test positive for COVID-19, the highest number in 6 months and rising fast. Most are young, unvaccinated, fit enough to survive. But not all. 277 people died last week, and among the vulnerable, so-called Freedom Day brings little more than anxiety.
There's a lot of concerning information coming out which show rising hospitalisations in the UK, rising case numbers, the attendant concerns of the rising numbers of people suffering from long COVID symptoms in this country. But also, just in the last 24 hours or so, we're starting to hear from doctors that NHS services are starting to have clinics and services cancelled because of the high rates of staff sickness and isolation that's needing to happen.
It's a small mercy, then, that the schools will close in a few days' time. More than 800,000 children were sent home last week because someone in a year group bubble tested positive. Many will begin their summer break in isolation. Parents will worry about the ongoing risk of infection.
I won't give up the mask, and nor my children or my husband. We won't. We will wear the mask because I can't see really a nice and clear future in the next months.
To wear them or not to wear them, masks are a question the government has wrestled with, but without conclusive answers. They'll no longer be required by law, but most offices, shops and transport companies will continue to encourage them.
We take a break here to make way for sports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The Jamaica Cricket Association, in an effort to resume the sport locally, is working in conjunction with the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, Olivia Babsy-Grange, with a decision reached to provide vaccination for the various groups attached to the JCA. CVM Sports spoke with President of the Jamaica Cricket Association.
Let me thank the government of Jamaica and in particular Minister Grange for making this arrangement for the JCA to have our critical persons vaccinated. Of course, it is fair to say that it is in keeping with the international tours that we expect to come to Jamaica, in particular Pakistan. But it is a much broader initiative than that, because it is covering more of our staff members and other stakeholders who play a part in cricket. So this is part of our first initiative to have our major stakeholders vaccinated.
The West Indies, the defending T20 World Cup champions, will play alongside England, Australia and South Africa in the group stage of the men's competition. The group will also include 2 qualifying teams, making 6 teams in each of the 2 groups. The top 2 teams from each group will progress to the semi-finals. The tournament, which will be played in the United Arab Emirates and Oman, runs from October 11 to November 14. Now, the competition was moved from India last month due to the increasing numbers of the coronavirus in that country. The groups were selected based on the ICC T20 rankings, with England the top-ranked team in the world. Malines United and Mount Pleasant, which entered Sunday's fourth round of the Jamaica Premier League with new coaches, played out a 2-all draw at the Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence. The points shared left them in joint 7th place with 2 draws, 1 win and a defeat. In the afternoon's first game, Vere United handed Humble Lion their 4th consecutive defeat, winning by 3-1. Leading female jockey Samantha Fletcher enjoyed one of her better days in the saddle when she rode a double on Saturday's 10-race card at Kimanos Park. She first won on Jamai Raja at 9-2 and then piloted home El Gringo at 23-1 in the Richard Azan non-winner of 3 races over the 1,000-meter straight course.